This is a short video tutorial on drone photography, and hopefully it's helpful if you're just getting started on taking pictures of real estate with your drone. So here we're taking off. Couple of things I want to point out, and they're very important throughout this video, is the altitude. Right here on the left, I'm going to be referring to this number quite often. So we're at 36 feet right now. First thing I like to do is scout the area, look around, look for high, tall objects like electric poles, palm trees, buildings. Power lines are very easy to miss because you can barely see the wires on the screen on your drone controller. So look for the pole, and then notice the crosshairs here. As I hover a little bit up and down, I can see 50 feet is just above it, so I'm totally safe at 50. And usually 50 feet is my first layer, so I like to do drone pictures in 3 layers. Here I'm looking around for anything else that might also be interfering with my flight path, but everything else seems to be just below the crosshairs right here. Notice that I haven't tilted the camera at all. It's just I took off at a flat 90-degree view, and it's been like that so far. So here I'm going to position. Now I'm tilting a little bit. You can see the tilt here. Tilt a little bit down. I'm at 53 feet, so I'm totally safe with the power lines. And here I'm taking a corner shot. This house has the mountains in the background, so I am making a specific composition just for that. So the first thing I like to do is take all 4 sides. So we'll do front, side, back, and the other side. It's helpful sometimes to look straight down, tilt all the way down if you're going to go below the 50 feet that we determined that was our safe altitude. So here I'm at 35 feet, and I'll take a picture right there. Now we'll go back up to just over 50, make sure we're not running into that pole we saw earlier. And then I'll take my next shot right on the side of the house. So we're at 54 feet right now. Notice how we have about 1/3 of the image is the horizon. You always want to have some horizon up here unless you're doing like a detailed close-up shot towards the end. Then we go to the backyard, do a backyard shot. Again, we're at 54 feet. And notice how, I'll go back here. Notice how we want to make sure that the property line is very straight there on the bottom. So like this line here, you want to make sure the property sits here in this general area. And again, about 1/3 of the image here is horizon. I would say not more than that, but it can be less. It can be half of this as long as you're not cropping the mountains in the background. So take a picture there. Then we go over to the other side. And then here I'm also going to take another picture straight on that way. And this one's just going to fit the backyard. So at that altitude. So now we'll go up higher and make sure we encompass the entire property line. So you want to be able to show a tiny bit of the fence or the wall or whatever there is to be able to identify where the property is. So here's our property, here's a fence, and we're just going to get a little bit of this fence so that you can make sure that people understand you're getting the whole property. We're at 121 feet right now, and this is now our second layer. And then we'll go around and do same thing all the way around at 121 or so. So here's our front shot, just a tiny bit of this like sidewalk area, a little bit of the road so that people understand where this property is. And here I'm doing that corner shot again because we have this really nice mountain range, and you don't want to crop mountains, but notice how we have about 1/2 of this third here with the sky. So as long as you don't crop the mountains, you're okay. Just a little bit of sky is okay. And then we go over to this side, again making sure you can see here the property line goes here, here, and here. So the whole property is here in this bottom section. Come back around to the back. So same thing we did at the 50 feet range, 1, 2, 3, 4, one from each side. Now we're doing it at about 138 or so, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you need easier to remember numbers, I would usually say like 50, 60, and then, or between 40 and 60, and then between 120 and 150 for the second layer, and then between 250 and 300 for the third layer. Here we're taking a straight down shot. This is also a very important shot. Make sure you get the entire property in one shot, and you're gonna have to get a little bit of something on one side or the other. But as long as you have, again, the entire perimeter of the property, that's good. We're at 250 feet for that shot there. So now we're going up a little bit higher and going to do our last layer. So we're getting close to the 250 feet range. And there it is. We're just going to position our main property here right towards the center, just like so. Notice how we're not cropping the mountains. We have a little bit of sky. We're at 249 feet right now. And that's our first front shot. And then we'll do the same thing on all other sides. In this case, because of this really nice mountain range, I'm also doing a corner shot, and I need to go a little bit higher. So if you see a really nice composition, feel free to do whatever you need to. We're at 313 now, and this gets us the entire mountain range as well as a property in the front. Obviously, stay within all the limitations of flight altitudes and obey all regulations in your area and all that fun stuff, which I'm not going to talk about. But here we are now at 307, getting this shot here. And we'll do the same thing all the way on the other side. Alright, and then this is our back of the property coming up here. Notice how we have this much sky here. One more shot there, and then the last one will be over from this side. And that's all you really need to do. Again, it's like 4 shots at 40 to 60 feet. Let's just call it 50. Another 4 at about 120. And then your last 4 at about 250 or so. And sometimes it'll be 200, sometimes it'll be 300. I'm just giving you kind of an approximation. And once you took that last shot, you're ready to land. So if there was a nice pool or something nice, I would fly as low as possible without crashing into anything and get a couple of detail shots of the pool, maybe at like 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet high at the most. But in this case, I'm done. There's nothing else here. Having the crosshairs enabled is very useful when you're landing, because you can just tilt your camera straight 90 degrees down and you know exactly where you're going to land without having to be outside looking at your drone, hoping that you're not going to run into something. So you'll land exactly where this is aimed at. So it's a good practice to enable both the rule of thirds here, the lines, and the crosshairs. Hopefully this has been useful, and good luck on your drone photography. Thank you.